Over the years, James Bond has driven some sweet cars. But which are the best? You might assume the best James Bond cars are the supercharged Aston Martins and BMWs, but you'd be wrong. Sometimes in car chases, Bond has had to settle for less than perfect vehicles to get the job done. From Dr. No to Spectre, he's proven it doesn't quite matter what vehicle he drives, just as long as he is driving it. So in theory, the best James Bond car is the car lucky enough to have him behind the wheel. Ready to strap in and become shaken but not stirred? I'm Mike with List 25, and here are 25 best James Bond cars ever. #25. Ford Mondeo ST. The Ford Mondeo ST is more of a basic economy car than a supercharged sports car, but in this case, it looks pretty good. Bond used it in Casino Royale. The model hadn't been made yet, so Ford had to ship it in a veil of secrecy. 24. 2002 Ford Thunderbird. Speaking of Ford, the 2002 Ford Thunderbird showed up in Die Another Day. It was driven by Bond girl Halle Berry. Combining a classic automobile style with a modern finish, this Thunderbird definitely had style. Ford sold 700 special editions in commemoration of James Bond's legacy. 23. Minimoke. Well, not exactly his coolest car. The Minimoke has its charms and is definitely unique. It was used in 3 different Bond films, including Live and Let Die, You Only Live Twice, and The Spy Who Loved Me. 22. Bentley MK6. It may look old-fashioned, but the Bentley MK6 is a sleek and classic vehicle we'd all be fortunate to own. It showed up in the novel Moonraker, when Bond decided to buy it with his gambling winnings. 21. Citroën 2CV. Appearing in For Your Eyes Only, the Citroën 2CV is a classic French vehicle resembling a VW Bug. After Bond's Esprit is destroyed, he has to take the Citroën 2CV to chase after the villains, and by the end, this car is also completely destroyed. 20. AMC Hornet. Coming right out of 1974's The Man with the Golden Gun, the AMC Hornet certainly harkens back to that old 70s style. In the movie, Bond confiscates the car out of a dealership to catch up with the villain Scaramanga. 19. Panhard AML. The Panhard AML is a light armored car from France with a 60mm breech loading mortar equipped. Bond uses this in The Living Daylights to chase down Afghan mujahideen. 18. BMW Z3. Driven by Pierce Brosnan's Bond in GoldenEye, the BMW Z3 is practically a classic at this point. It might have been underused in GoldenEye, but BMW made sure to promote it like crazy during the time of the movie. 17. Ford Mustang Mach 1. Featured in Diamonds Are Forever, the Ford Mustang Mach 1 was used by Sean Connery's Bond as he drove around Las Vegas. He and Bond girl Tiffany Case end up in a high-speed car chase with the police. Bond escapes by putting the Mustang on 2 wheels, escaping through a narrow alley. 16. Lotus Esprit S1. The Lotus Esprit S1 first appeared in The Spy Who Loved Me, and became notable for its ability to transform into a submarine in the movie. It came equipped with surface-to-air missiles, torpedoes, and mines. 15. Alfa Romeo GTV6. The Alfa Romeo GTV6 showed up in 1983's Octopussy when Bond stole it from a woman at a telephone booth. He needed it to warn the NATO general of a Soviet plot. It featured plenty of hot 80s trends in its design and was considered one of the cheapest sports cars in Europe. 14. Aston Martin V8 Vantage Volante. Released in 1977 and hailed as Britain's first supercar capable of going 170 miles per hour, the Aston Martin V8 Vantage Volante appeared in 1987's The Living Daylights. Along with the fast speed, it also had a self-destruction mechanism, laser cutter emitters, and built-in missiles. In the movie version, that is. 13. Lotus Esprit Turbo. The Lotus Esprit Turbo appeared in 1981's For Your Eyes Only. Due to the more realistic tone of the film, this car only had a self-destruct mechanism. 12. Toyota 2000 GT Convertible. Bond rarely drives a Toyota. In fact, it's the only Toyota on this list. Regardless, the Toyota 2000 GT convertible was a sweet ride back in 1967. It is still pretty sweet today. It was featured in You Only Live Twice and driven by Sean Connery after he swapped his Aston Martin.
11.
Aston Martin DBS. Driven in both Casino Royale and Quantum of Solace, the Aston Martin DBS is the kind of car you think of when you think Bond car. Fancy, sleek, and supercharged, most people would give anything to drive in this thing of beauty.
10.
BMW Z8. James Bond drove the BMW Z8 in The World Is Not Enough up until it was sliced in half by a helicopter equipped with tree-cutting saws. You could also drive this car yourself in the video game 007 Racing.
9.
Jaguar XKR. Released in 1998, the Jaguar XKR was featured in Die Another Day as the henchman Zal's vehicle. It came equipped with a slew of weapons, including a minigun attached to the back, mortar rounds, and ramming spikes.
8.
AEC Regent 3. Leave it to Bond to find some rather peculiar vehicles to drive, and the AEC Regent 3 is certainly one of them. In Live and Let Die, Bond and Solitaire use this double-decker bus to escape the police. Even though they have cars and motorcycles, Bond still figures out how to lose them.
7.
Aston Martin DB5. The Aston Martin DB5 is likely the most iconic Bond vehicle around. It's been used in a ton of classic Bond movies, and was even brought back in style in Casino Royale and Skyfall. It comes equipped with a .30 caliber machine gun, oil emitters, and tire shredding blades.
6.
Soviet T-55 tank. Who could forget the time James Bond confiscated a Soviet T-55 tank and drove it down a busy city street in GoldenEye? It's a little unbelievable he'd use it to chase someone down, but it still looked pretty cool when he was doing it.
5.
Honda ATC 90. Technically, the Honda ATC 90 is a three-wheeler, not a car. But just like the tank, Bond drove it with such style, I just had to include it. This appeared in Diamonds Are Forever and became a huge hit afterward. However, they were made illegal in the US because they were prone to flip over.
4.
Renault 11 TXE. This is less of a great car and more of a great Bond scene. In A View to a Kill, Bond drives the whole Renault 11 TXE at first, but by the end, he's only driving half a car. He literally drives around with only the two front wheels.
3.
Aston Martin DB10. Driven by Bond in Spectre, this car was specifically designed with Bond in mind, and commemorates the long-standing relationship the car company and the character have had. The car can go 183 miles per hour and goes from 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds.
2.
Moon Buggy. Okay, the Moon Buggy is obviously silly, but that's what makes it so great. It perfectly exemplifies how crazy things got with James Bond. In Diamonds Are Forever, Bond is being chased in the Nevada desert, and what better vehicle to take on rough terrain than a moon buggy? Well, turns out, in certain shots you can see its wheels falling off. So, perhaps it wasn't the best choice?
1.
BMW 750iL. Used in Tomorrow Never Dies, the BMW 750iL is a classic BMW that you probably associate with BMW whenever you think of the car. While it's not exactly the flashiest car, in the movie, Bond pulls out his phone and uses it as a remote control to drive the car around. So, what's your favorite Bond vehicle? Let us know in the comments below, or tweet your answer to us at List25.
Enjoying our lists? Be sure to click that subscribe button on the bottom right and the notification bell so you don't miss out on new ones every Monday through Friday. Share them with friends and help us consistently conciliate curiosity. And if you want even more lists, check out these videos here or just head to our website at list25.com.